President Biden issued a statement on the anniversary of the Sandy Hook shooting Wednesday saying, quote, "I am determined to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines like those used at Sandy Hook and countless other mass shootings in America. Enough is enough." Your sense as someone who is in the work of what it's going to take for that to happen?
Well, good evening, Alicia. First of all, thank you so much for hitting on this point. This is a very personal issue for me. As you know, I lost my father to gun violence when I was 24 years old, and it's been a long road to where we are now. I want to recognize Gabby, who founded Giffords on the wake of the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting, and we have made a lot of progress, and it hasn't been by accident. It's been a sustained effort and the work of the Giffords organization, along with others who have joined the gun violence prevention movement. We have been able to pass more than 500 laws in different states. We have been able to, working with the president, pass the bipartisan Safer Communities Act. And this is the first piece of bipartisan legislation where we actually saw a first step in trying to deal with this gun violence epidemic that we are living every single day in this country. But these are only first steps. Here's something that I want to say to everyone watching. We cannot give in, and we cannot accept this as a new normal. We have to make sure that we work together and continue to build upon the progress that we have already made. There's still a lot to be done, and what we can't do is think that there's nothing else that we can do. We can't accept this.
I don't know how parents like me go to their children's kindergarten classes and have a teacher walk them through their small child's active shooter drill and decide that this is just the new normal and this is something that they believe we can live with. I have to ask you, yesterday we learned a judge raised concerns about the alleged Club Q gunman in Colorado a year before the shooting, and yet no action was taken to prevent him from carrying it out. Talk to me about the system and how the system needs to change.
Look, unfortunately, what we have seen is a rise in not only hate speech and extremism, but also political violence and violence against the most vulnerable populations in our country. We've seen violence against our Jewish communities or LGBTQ community members. We are seeing targeted attacks against Latinos. It's also important to note that the rates of violence in Latino communities is twice as high as those white non-Latino communities. We are losing. The number one cause of death for Latino men between the ages of 15 and 19 years old, Alicia, is gun violence. And unfortunately, we are not seeing the political courage that this moment demands. We need to make sure that we communicate directly with our elected officials, because the court of public opinion, Alicia, is with us. We have done a lot in the past 10 years, and the majority of Americans want stricter gun laws. They support President Biden's determination on banning assault weapons. These are weapons of war. They do not belong in the streets. And words matter. With the rise of hate speech, with more than 400 million guns in America, that's a combination that results in these type of tragedies. Well, so there's a lot of work that has to be done. Yes.
Let me ask you about that, because this week you had a survivor from the shooting at Club Q, Michael Anderson, speaking in front of Congress, and I want to play that audio for you.
To the politicians and activists who accuse LGBTQ people of grooming children and being abusers, shame on you. As leaders of our country, it is your obligation to represent all of us, not just the ones you happen to agree with. Hate speech turns into hate action, and actions based on hate almost took my life from me at 25 years old. I beg you all to consider your words before you speak them, for someone may use those words to justify action that may take someone's life.
Hate speech turns into hate action. I also heard Brandon Wolf call it militarized hate. It's easy to talk about these issues in silos. In reality, they're deeply connected.
Yeah, hate and violence have no place in our nation, in our democracy. And we have to send a message to these politicians who are inciting violence with these words. Words matter. And like the witness is stating there, these words then result into violence. And with, like I said, with so many arms in America, making it easier for people to have access to these firearms, you are seeing more than 600 mass shootings in this country, Alicia. And so what I'm asking everyone is to make sure that they put the pressure on their politicians. We just conducted a poll that shows that over 80% of Americans support passing the universal background check bill. That's the first piece of business that the Senate should be taking on as we start a new year in January. And we also have to ensure that we continue to invest in community violence prevention programs, which is something that the president has made a commitment to and which we should demand more states make those investments as well.